In today's video, I'm going to be setting up the reading journal for the month of March and creating a few pages for the Realmathon reading challenge. So stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and this is A Girl with Plans. I want to thank you all for joining me today. So I'm actually getting into my reading journal a little bit earlier this month. I am filming this on Sunday the 23rd. But it is a shorter month, but I wanted to go ahead and get my pages set up for the month. So I'm going to have to estimate how many pages to leave blank for my reading reviews for the month of February. So for the month of February, here we go. I've read all of these. I'm not going to be reading the book club. I've finished 4 books thus far. I will be finishing Rebel Witch. I'm listening to that on audio. And I am reading Tempest Wrath. I'm halfway done. I actually need to mark that I've read those for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'll do these stats once I get to the end because there is a possibility I could read a few more. We'll see, or at least one more. I went ahead in the fall ball, which was the reading challenge that I was doing for the month of February. It was the Romanticy-a-thon. That was supposed to be a week-long reading challenges. I kind of turned it into a month reading challenge. So this is kind of where I was setting up my to be read and everything. I ended up shuffling everything around once we saw what the prompts were. So I put the books that I actually read for the prompts. You could double up on use one book for multiple prompts. I did that once. And then that is kind of the outcome for it. These reading challenges are so much fun. And I really didn't read any books specifically for the challenge. I was reading books that I wanted to read anyway. I finally read Throne of Glass, y'all. Finally read the first book. I was going to read Assassin's Blade first, but I started reading it and I just couldn't get into it as much. So I'm let me start with the true first book and not the prequel. And I was glad I did. Flew through that book. I'm currently, like I said, listening to Rebel Witch. There's another book that I didn't put for this prompt. It's Veil of Dreams. That was a great book. Super fun, super fast read. Really liked how that was the second book in the Spy Fae Academy series. Highly recommend it. It is on Kindle Unlimited. It is, it's definitely romantasy, but, it's very interesting because the first book kind of went one way. The second book is a continuation, but it kind of brings in a new kind of male main character into play, which it really kept things interesting. It's not super spicy or anything like that. So it was a really great read. And then I have been sucked into the Legacy series. That had been on my radar since late last year. And Reign of Shadows and Endings, which is the first book in that series, fulfilled the buzzword prompt, which was water, rain, water. And after reading that one, which is a 5-star read, I had to jump right into the second one, which was A Storm of Secrets and Sorrows. And I'm currently reading the third one, which is Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance. And that one, there's going to be one more book coming out. And I think that's going to be toward the middle to end of the year. So yeah, I'm completely enthralled by that book. I highly recommend it. It's very dark. It's kind of I don't want to say captor because it's not really captor, but it's definitely force proximity. It's really good, really different. Really enjoyed it. So like you said, I'm behind on this. What I think I'm going to do is Throne of Glass, Rebel Witch. And I think I want to save 2 pages for all 3 of the books that I read, part of the Legacy series. Because I think it might be easier for me to do one big kind of review. So that's going to bring us here. So this is where I'm going to set up for March. So for March, I am doing another reading challenge. I am doing the Realmathon. Realmathon, if you are interested in that, I will have covers by Cassidy. I would have her channel linked down below. Covers with Cassidy, right? I think that's what it is. She has this Realmathon. It's really cool. It's a team-based competition. So you pick your team on Discord. You can pick your team on Discord. You can chat with them. It's so much fun. And you earn points for the books you read based on what types of things are in the book. And you can do up to 5 prompts per book. So it's a chance to earn a lot of points. Plus, you can also get negative points, which means you can take away points from another team. So it's really, really competitive. I can't really explain it because it's super, super complicated. It's not that complicated, but it's a lot to it. But basically, if you like join, she has Google Docs. There's going to be a spreadsheet that you can put your information in, and that's how she keeps track of the points. But it's the Carry On City Realmathon this year, so I printed out the map. Here are like the 4 teams. You have like the Ravens, the Stags, the Stingers, and the Monarchs. Yeah, so I joined a Team Stag. So that's why we have this. So this isn't going here. I don't know why I put this here. This is kind of what kind of led off for that. So I'm going to do a 2-page spread for this. We'll get into that in a minute, but I kind of wanted to show you where it was all going. I got, like, this was from Covers with Cassidy. These are Covers with Cassidy, or and then everything else came from Canva. All right. So we're going to start with my typical kind of setup. Based on that, here's some more stuff that I made for the Realmathon. I got these in my Advent calendar from Cora Korea Crafts. And I like the green because, you know, March. It's very green for the month of March with St. Patrick's Day and stuff. And now that I'm Team Stag, it's also very green. So I got these. These are like stickers. These are vellum stickers. So I have these. But then I also did the journaling, the digital journaling pages, which is this. So I could do these as well. So I'm thinking about doing this. Obviously, this book is bigger than a sheet of paper. I didn't want to do 1 sheet per book, but maybe I should have. Should I have? Should I have? Should I have? So this is where my calendar goes. That's not going to change. I would do March here. I did not cut with my Cricut. I cut by hand. Okay. And then we have the books that I'm reading for other challenges, plus new releases, because I wanted to go ahead and fill the page up. So I had actually a pretty easy month as far as the other reading challenges go. A lot of them were kind of just like priority TBR, or just, I think the, let me go back. The Goober reading challenge is a random pick. So, and then another one was like priority TBR. That's for the Aldea reading challenge. So my priority TBR is going to be Crown of Midnight. That's the second book in Throne of Glass. Going to continue that. I know the buzzword reading challenge is Things. So I was going to do Lovely Bad Things. We'll see if this changes. I don't know. The synopsis has me like, I don't know. And then random pick, I was going to do Blood and Steel. So that would work. And then new releases, Lady of the Lake and Finley Donovan. I want to keep them on my radar because I keep forgetting about certain new releases and I need to remember. So at least I can put in the request at the library if it's not going to be on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know. I kind of like it like this instead of the whole page. Because the other thing I could possibly do is my map over here. I could do my reading log, and then I can do all of my challenges like over here. Which I have to cut these out. And then I can do my stats over here. And then I can do my readathon over here. The thing is I have to do my calendar first. Like I have to have my calendar ready to go so I can get into it. The stats do take up a whole page. This page, I would like to have a space for my favorite, least favorite, and stuff like that. But worst case scenario, I can put it at the end where my reviews go. I would have to use some more circles, which I should have some, hopefully. I'm going to do pie charts. I don't think I did this when I did my initial setup. So I'm going to do pie charts for the pages read. So basically up to 200, like it'll be a pie chart. Storygraph gives you that information and I'll break it up like less than 200, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, or something like that, and then 8 and above, 800 and above. And then you say what portion of it is, the genre, and then the source, which is like KU, physical, something like that. And then this one was for my ratings. Let me grab this. Let's try something different. I'm gonna just try something different. I'm still not sure how I'm gonna do things, but I know I need to cut out the calendar, and I might just do an extra page or two this month. All right, it's voiceover time. So yeah, this is going to be like a longer plan with me. So I definitely wanted to speed it up, but I don't want you guys to miss out on any of the creative process. So I'm just cutting out here where I figured out my placement is going to be with the calendar, my reading calendar, my reading log. So unlike last time where I used to use a whole page graphic and then cut out a place in the middle, I'm kind of doing my calendar a little off-center this time, subtle differences, subtle differences. And after I put this down, I'm like, okay, where do I want to put the reading log? I'm like, all right, let's put it on the other page. That way I can cut out a spot on the other page instead of having too much taken away from that one image. So I'm going to put my reading log on that page. It's fine. I have plenty of room on both of these pages. These two pages don't get filled up. Basically, this is kind of my prep work pages, or like my TBR pages. So like I said, I do my reading calendar here. This is where I log the days that I read and what books I'm reading on those days. But then this is where I also notate what books I plan on reading for certain challenges. So my TBR in a sense. I don't want to go too crazy with the TBR, so I kind of just limit it to the ones that I'm reading for challenges, but then I kind of throw in other ones along the way. So now I'm just, going to use that little template that I created a while back for the calendar, and it makes it so much easier to go ahead and figure out where to put the dots. And then I just used a marker to draw in the lines. And then I'm like, oh, I really like it where the first week doesn't really start until Saturday, and then the last week ends on a Monday. I'm like, I don't want like a whole bunch of blank boxes. So that's when I went ahead and used some of the remaining sticker to piece it back together. Now I did not date this on camera, and I did not add, I'm sorry for the hair shots, my high ponytail's all in the way. And I did not add the, days of the week on camera. I'll do that off camera. I'll probably use my BuJo dated sticker book. It's pretty much my go-to, just because it's colorful. I have a colorful one and a black and white one. So I'll probably use the green or the brown to do this month's calendar. And now I'm just going to use some scrap pieces of sticker paper to cover up the other parts of the calendar I don't want to show. And I do all this, and I think I needed to do it anyway, but you'll see later I end up putting washi over it too. So the washi definitely helps cover up the lines where I pieced it together. And I think I did need to cover it up because I think the marker would have showed through the washi. And now I'm just kind of outlining the box here. You can't really see it that much, but it helps to, I guess, add a little something. And yes, the rectangle was not completely straight. So now I'm just going to add in my challenges. So as I mentioned, I'm doing the buzzword reading challenge, the goober reading challenge, which the goober one is Joshi Corinne. I explained the buzzword one previously. And then Eldia, which is a year-long, multi-year type reading challenge. I have a separate challenge journal that I keep all the specifics for that one in, but I like to keep track of like the book that I want to read for the month here. So because I have so many pieces of inserts, I had to do a pocket. So I'm just kind of figuring out how to lay it. I know I want the pocket on the left, and then I want to use the right hand side as kind of like the wrap up page. So kind of like the pre-prep on the left side, the wrap-up on the right side is kind of how I'm doing with it. I thought it looked a little bare, but then I was like, whatever. Once I have pages sticking out of the pocket, it's not going to be as bare anymore. So to make the pocket, it's not super heavy cardstock that I use. I just use, I think this is my heavier paper, but it's not quite cardstock, and I just use that so that way it has a little bit of strength but not too much weight. And now I'm just adding all of the little images that I printed out on paper. This one, I think I used 32-pound paper. Again, so it's a little bit thicker than your regular printer paper, but not too thick. And with this challenge, there's a lot of stuff. I created tables. So all the tables that have the green on it, I created that in Microsoft Office myself. And that's how I'm keeping track of my points. Like I said, there is a Google Docs spreadsheet that you can input your points on. And that's how Cassidy is keeping track of everything for team rankings and stuff like that. But I want to keep track of my own points. So that's why I did a table. And then I created other tables per book. So each time I read a book, I will write the book on the top of the table and then the allotted points under that. So that way I can kind of see how much points each book gets and things like that. I just feel like, right now, yes, I'm going to be tracking it on the spreadsheet for like the team points and stuff. But like in the future, when I look back at it, I wanted a place where I can have like all of my information. And then I also printed off like the little background about the team stags and the powers that we possess, a little bit about the city that she created, as well as some like frequently asked questions and things like that. So that what I printed off is enough to kind of give me a gist of what's going on, a way to keep track of my points. So that way, years down the line, when I look back, through this book for memories, I'll understand what's going on. So now I'm just going to add some washi to cover up some of the white space. And then adding the washi will also allow me to tie in all 6 pages now of my monthly spreads. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm adding in the washi. I think it's just a good way to tie in all of these pages together, especially because that middle page isn't really going to have much of the elven type of decorative elements, because it's a lot of things that I created myself for the challenge, as well as some of the images that were created for the challenge by Cassidy. So that's why I'm using the washi, and I just decided to use both types of washi. I like the way they look together, but it does help, like I said, fill up some of the extra white space. So yeah, this is my first time doing the Realmathon challenge, so it will be interesting to see how it goes. But I was super excited because it's the only 1 month challenge. I had mentioned when I was talking about my LDL challenge, that one, I have a separate challenge book that I keep like year-long challenges. But for the monthly challenges, I'm just going to create either like a little space on one page to track it, or like in this case, create an entire spread in my reading journal to track it. Like I said, there's just so much going on with this one. I felt like it really did need a full 2-page spread. So I'm just going to go ahead, add some more decorations. I'm going to use this washi sticker. This will help tie in some of the elven theme. I thought like this one kind of fit in well. It didn't stand out, but so much with the other decorations. So I'm like, let's just throw this one on the page and go from there. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and let you guys finish this one. After I do this, I'll go to the next page to kind of decorate and prep for the final monthly stats, and then I'll just have the other page completely blank to add my favorites or some type of reading wrap up at the end of the month. All right, so with that said, I hope you enjoy the rest of the process. All right, y'all, this was a lot of fun. This was probably, you know, this was an extra spread. It did take me a lot of time to do some of the prep work here. So it took me a lot longer to do than just decorate. But it's fun. I like doing my reading journal. It's something that I like want to spend time doing because it is going to be like a memory keeper of sorts. But this is really pretty. So this is like the Elven journaling, the digital journaling pages that I got from Cora Korea Crafts. I got a whole set. There was like 20 or like 12 or 20. I don't know how much it was. Like pages in it, and it was like $5. So I really like how this turned out. I knew I wanted to go with the greenish, spread because of March, but it just so happens that I'm going to be a member of Team Stags in the Korean City Realmathon. So that kind of worked out perfectly. So there we go here. What I said, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this yet. I don't know if I'm just going to mark like my total points at the end and like team points, team standings. That's probably what I'll do. So I'm probably not. The other thing I could do is put my books down and then write the points for it. But it's a lot. I'll have them here too. So we'll see. And then there's room on the back for me to like where I forgot to put the plan on the cover. So yeah, and then here's going to be my stats. So these are my pie charts. This will be my average rating. This will be my pie chart for my rating. This will be my overall stats for like how many physical books I read, how many audiobooks, how many days I read, like 31 out of 31, something like that. This will be for my series stats, so how many I started, how many I finished, things like that. This will be for my duologies, and this will be for my standalones. So yeah, there we go. I really like this. I didn't know how this was going to turn out with me doing this, but it worked really, really well together. I even think this vibe isn't too far off from all of this. I really liked how it turned out, y'all. Super excited. Let me know if you're doing the Realmathon, and if so, let me know what team you have joined. Like I said, it is like you could treat these like reading challenges, readathons and everything as you want. You can be super competitive and try to read a whole bunch of books, or you can just kind of just enjoy the fun out of doing it and just read your typical 3 or 4 books a month. It's fine. I don't know how many books I'm going to read this month. I'm not going to like push myself because like I said, I'm just having fun and like with the chat and then the team and the competitiveness. It makes it a little bit more fun, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to like read when I need to be doing something else. So I'm going to be treating this as a fun reading challenge, but it's even more fun when you track all the things and make fun things in your journal. So there we go, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider hitting that subscribe button as well. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.